Hey guys, it's Alexia, my friend. How are you? Who do we have? We have Selma. Hey Selma, it's been a little while. Amanda says hello. Hello, Amanda. And Michael says, good morning. Have a great workout and breathwork session. Thank you. Appreciate that. So Alexia gives us a wave. Thanks, guys, for the early welcome. Much appreciated. Let's talk for, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll try to keep it definitely no longer than half an hour. Selena. Hey, Selena. Hello to everyone in the chat. It might be just you and me right now. That's okay. We don't need a whole lot of people. I mention quite frequently that I'm just as happy talking to one person as I am talking to however. Hey, Sniper. And I'm just as happy talking to myself as I am talking to one person. We are going to talk a mind-blowing sentence. I posted this yesterday in the title for the afternoon live stream. It feels like a final pointer. You know, a pointer, specifically in non-duality session circles, is never the thing. It's something that points at the thing, because the thing itself cannot be described. Sniper says, Grand Risings to Selena. Sniper, how are you this morning? Ramana Maharshi likened it to having a thorn in your palm and using another thorn to take it out, and then you throw them both away. Because the thing is never the thing. Does that make sense? Buddha likened it to a raft, that his teachings were like a raft that you use to get to the other shore. When you get to the shore, you no longer need the raft, so you throw it away. Or in Zen, they say a pointer is like the finger pointing at the moon. Never ever confuse the finger for the actuality of the moon. So this was an important pointer for me. It's funny, you read things years ago, decades ago. Selena, my friend, thank you so much. Give me a second, guys. Eric was, you look so handsome in yellow too. Thank you. Thank you for both. Thank you for the compliment, and thank you for the super chat. Both are greatly appreciated. Sniper says, seeing my sister shortly. It's been a while. How long's it been, Sniper? Cena says, Toy Pups, hello. That is our friend Selma. So yeah, I first read through the Course in Miracles in 1990 something, and and then I would keep reading it, through the years. It was 2008 or so when I finally read all the way through when I did the workbook, and I pick it up all the time. So I've probably read these words literally hundreds of times, but for some reason they really sank in. Let's see. Selena says, Amanda, you should be in bed resting. Gorgeous girl. She's having a silent live stream, so maybe she is in bed. I think she probably just stopped in to say hi and show some support, as is the way of someone with a loving heart, of which Amanda does. So every once in a while, you come across words that you've read hundreds of times. and all of a sudden they hit you like you've never heard them ever before. This is an upending thought, and it's one thought, one sentence in the entirety of A Course in Miracles. It'll throw your, I will get to it, it'll throw your mind frame completely to a loop, and if you truly grasp it, you'll be unable to think, or at least think for long, the way we've been thinking before. And here's the sentence: and God thinks otherwise. That's it. And God thinks otherwise. We have a wrong-minded way of thinking, which is thinking from the ego. It's not saying it's wrong because, it's not even saying it's wrong because it's real. It's saying it's wrong because it's an illusion. And thinking this way keeps us trapped within the illusion. And yet, God doesn't recognize illusion. God thinks otherwise. If we are having thoughts of attack, if we're having resentments, grievances, if we are having any kind of judgment, it's part of the illusion. Any unloving thought is wrong-minded thinking because it's simply wrong. It's not wrong as in a judgment. It's wrong because it's not true, because it's an illusion. And yet, God thinks otherwise. God is not this thought system. God doesn't hold judgment. God doesn't have grievances. God doesn't have resentments. So, we are trying to make God think like us. That's the biblical God. That's the God of judgment, the God of you've sinned, the God that is partial in her forgiveness. This is why the Tao Te Ching begins with a Tao that can be told is not the true Tao, because it's not of our thinking. God thinks otherwise. There's the thought of God, love, right-mindedness that we can choose any time, and we've been given a reminder, which the Course calls the Holy Spirit, but you could call Buddha consciousness or Krishna consciousness, or simply your higher self, whatever resonates with you. We can always choose that. We can always choose again. So again, that one sentence, and God thinks otherwise. Whenever you're caught up in that wrong-minded thinking, whenever you're caught up in your judgments, whenever you're caught up in experiencing anxiety, experiencing a panic attack, anything that is not resonating as complete love, remind yourself, God thinks otherwise. It just means that I am in the wrong mind, but I can choose the right mind, which is always present because it's reality. Reality doesn't leave. Reality is the one thing that is always here. What did Philip K. Dick say about reality? We'll find out. Give me a second. Do you guys know Philip K. Dick? I hope so. Great writer. He wrote Blade Runner. Wasn't called Blade Runner. I think it was Do Androids Dream of Sheep? One second, guys. I can tell that springtime is here because I'm having some allergies. Here it is. I think probably Squirrel Sucker knows this. From Philip K. Dick, the great scientific science fiction writer. Reality is that which, when you stop believing in it, doesn't go away. We can say then that reality is God. Reality is love. So, and God thinks otherwise, returns us to reality. Always. Pretty amazing. Oop, let's see. Black and Fire says, what are you from? What are you from? That's a great question. You could say what I am from is from absolutely nothing, and yet I'm now here. From nothing comes everything. From the absolute, from the infinite comes the finite, but only to return back to the finite. But to answer the to answer the question, I am from the United States, Eastern United States. How about you, my friend? Phoenix says, good morning. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Phoenix. Phoenix, how are you? Cena says, God thinks otherwise. It's a great self-inquiry. Keep asking ourselves, if God thinks otherwise, am I aligned with the mind of God? If God is right mind, then how I am thinking. Am I trying to get God to think like me? Which means that I'm bringing it into small-mindedness, that I'm bringing God into the small-mindedness, the pettiness of the ego? Or God thinks otherwise. Am I aligning myself with the thoughts of God? And so reality will seem to bend to my perception, but it doesn't actually change. But my perceptions keep me bound to the world of the perceived. Sepper says, black and fire, everyone, comes from intent. Phoenix says, oh, Selena says, hello to Phoenix. Hey, Asia. Asia says, howdy, Eric in chat. Howdy, Asia. How are you, my friend? We don't normally see you this early, Asia. What do you mean by black and fire, Sniper? Cena says, you're right. I have to remind myself to focus on love, and God thinks otherwise. The problem always being that we're human, and we're supposed to struggle with this concept. Well, think of it this way. The problem always being that we're human, and yet God thinks otherwise. God does not think that we're merely human. God thinks that we are aspects of God. The ocean never thinks that the wave is separate. The ocean doesn't even think in terms of waves. It only knows ocean. So the ocean thinks otherwise. So don't confuse yourself with just a wave. Don't confuse yourself with just being human. You are the ocean. You are God. You are alive in the mind of God right now. So that's the beautiful thing, is we get to keep returning and keep returning. Captain T says, Jeff Bridges. I love Jeff Bridges. The Big Lebowski himself. What's up, Jamie? Omega's Farm says, done. Thank you. Appreciate that. Selena's waving at everyone. Thank you, Selena. Selena says, oh, true, Eric, because we're made in his image. So I hear you. Not only are we made in his image, we are made of. We are God essence, God's stuff. We can't be separate from the source. Remember, the wave is never, ever separate from the ocean. Even when it's fully crested and it thinks, hey, guys, look at me. I'm a wave. I can just hear that tiny wave voice saying, look at me, guys, over here. I'm a wave. And yet, the ocean just abides, just waits. No one, every wave is never separate and will remember eventually. The ocean thinks otherwise. Remind me later. I'm going to use that as well as a title. The ocean thinks otherwise. Love thinks otherwise. You guys are my favorite people to talk to. Everyone's saying hi. Selena says, oops, I read that. Sniper says, oh, I was replying to Black and Fire's comment. Oh, gotcha. On what we came from. Parents' intent. Nice. Selena says, I heard somewhere that women are the waves of the ocean that crash against the mountain, which represents man. Huh. Interesting. Very poetic. Very beautiful. Sempa says, I wasn't waving, I was drowning. I like that metaphor. Drowning in love, as that's who we are. That would be a Hafiz Rumi type of saying. Once we return to the depths of the ocean, we are drowned in its love. So that's the one thought today from A Course in Miracles, and God thinks otherwise. And we could dive anywhere in the Course and be filled with its meaning. Let's see what the lesson for the day would be. If we had started the Course on New Year's, we would be at lesson 66. And lesson 66 is, as Miss Blipper did, our friend Miss Blipper, who's been studying the Course as long as I have. She's rereading the workbook. 365 lessons. Lesson 66 is, my happiness and my function are one. Here's our function. Our function is to forgive. Remember, when I talk about forgiveness in these live streams, I'm not talking about the forgiveness that we've been led to believe. It's a whole different. This is a radical forgiveness, in which forgiveness is our function to return to reality. And remember, reality is that when we cease to believe in it, doesn't change. It's still here. Reality is God. Forgiveness is our return home from God. Forgiveness is a tool that we use to come back to, and God thinks otherwise. If I'm holding anything as unforgiven, then I'm trying to get God to think like me. Forgiveness says God thinks otherwise. If I say this resentment is too big to forgive, this hurts too much for me to forgive, this wrongdoing is too large, God thinks otherwise. That's forgiveness. So my function is forgiveness. And yet lesson 66 says my happiness and my function are one. Imagine that. To be truly, truly happy, a happiness, a joyfulness that doesn't change no matter what happens, is tied to my function. And my function is forgiveness. If you want to be happy, forgive. This is not a conditional happiness. This isn't a happiness that says, wow, I'm really happy because I got that promotion. I'm really happy because I'm in this new relationship. I'm really happy because I got a new car. That's conditional happiness, and it's great to celebrate all of that stuff. But we want a happiness that does not change when our car breaks down. Doesn't mean that we're not upset. It doesn't mean that we don't get angry. It doesn't mean that we don't experience the ups and downs. But there's a long abiding happiness that doesn't change with the ups, doesn't change with the downs. It's just there. It's the joy that never passes. Passes? So my happiness and function are one. We forgive, and forgive is reminding ourselves that God thinks otherwise. So I'll talk about this all day, as you can tell. Hey, Miss Flipper. Miss Flipper says, oh yeah, Miss Flipper says, I'm actually on 67. Love created me like itself. Miss Flipper says hellos and yup. Welcome in, Miss Flipper. Selena says, to farm, I returned love over on your channel. Great guys. I appreciate everyone connecting. Jamie says hello to Miss Flipper. Miss Flipper says hello to everyone. Jamie, you going to be going live in a little bit? I very often watch Jamie as I'm eating my oatmeal for the morning. Jamie's become my breakfast companion. Selena says, Eric, has there ever been a person that you have never been able to forgive? Or have you found peace with everything or everyone? Just curious. It's a great question. I have not found peace with everyone or everything, uh, but I get to work on it. That's just as good that you get to work on it. Um, Particular person that I return to, my great forgiveness lesson, um, has to do with my divorce, not Mocha. Um, Mocha was my great forgiveness lesson for a long time because I kept being able to return and saying, "But I love you." Every little hurt in our relationship, I could look at her and say, "But I love you." Um, it became a holy relationship. The course says that we make special relationships. Special relationship is when I love you, I love you, I love you. Wait a minute. Did you just do this to me? I don't love you, I don't love you, I don't love you. Now it's a special hate relationship. We make special relationships with new cars until they get a dent. Then it's like, or they break down. I hate this car. It's always breaking down. Special relationships, but a holy relationship is when we know that we can always remember God thinks otherwise. It's removed from the illusion of a special relationship. Miss Ripper says, thanks, Eric. Keeping on my mind. Something you said the other day. Uh-oh. Am I in trouble? um, but there was someone who I held as a key in what led to the beginning of the end of my relationship, although it was never really the end. I had to work on forgiveness with my mom when when I became her caregiver. I always had a contentious relationship with my mom. I knew she loved me. I wasn't sure she actually liked me. And when you become a caregiver, you lay all that aside. Everything that's hard to forgive becomes the ability to enter a holy relationship. So yeah, there's still things, still situations. There are certain political figures that make it extremely hard for me to forgive. But what a big opportunity. I think Miss Blipper can relate. Just a wording thing. She says, yes, big trouble. Hey, Dale. Dale says, hi, brother. Hello, my friend. I understand what you meant, but, capital B-U-T, I am in big trouble. Cena says, I'm sorry, Eric. I've never been through a divorce, but I feel your pain as I have experienced the breakup. King says, like Ho'opono, it's all about forgiveness. Absolutely. B-I-G, big. Uh-oh. Crazy Gamer says, hey, Yogi. How's things, matey? Crazy Gamer, things are good, my friend. How are things with you? Cena says, I understand, Eric. I'm sorry about your mother. That's truly devastating, especially if your mother was strict like mine. My mom wasn't strict. What I came to realize, because she was diagnosed later in life, is my mother suffered depression. And I ended up sort of being on the brunt of that depression. Let's see. Dill says, what do you think is the better approach for building solid muscle mass? High intensity training or a resistance band workout? For building muscle, high intensity training. Cena says to King Dale Clark, hello. Says hi to Selena. I like resistance bands. You know, Tom Brady, sorry, the last few years only train with resistance bands. As he said, you know, I don't have to be any stronger than I already am to throw the football the way I do, but I need to be injury resistant. I need to be pliable, flexible. So he used bands to keep himself strong, but to also to keep himself pliable for lack of a better word. Dill says, thanks for answering, always. Miss Pippa says, he said there is no self. Yes, I did. I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by that. There is self, but it is not what you perceive it to be. Still, without self, you wouldn't be. And we are. And so there. I'm going to stand by there is no self. The self is part of the illusion. If we go to the strict non-duality of A Course in Miracles, then we can say there's only God. Hey, Amanda is here. Miss Pippa says nope. Let's see. I'm actually reading Kenneth Wapnick's book on the subject that we're talking about, which is And God Thinks Otherwise. And he even goes so far as to say there's no existence. I'll read that this afternoon, Miss Pepper, or maybe we're long overdue for a phone call. Maybe this Friday, maybe sometime next week, we can get on the phone again and talk about it. My own experience in meditation has been a complete absence of self. Not a single thought. No self. I understand what you're saying. I'm going to go with the strict non-duality of absolute zero self. Amanda says, I did it live, but my phone died. I'm sorry about that. Clark says, what do you think is the best approach to deal with YouTube haters? For instance, Jamie Brown gets plenty of hate due to his form and his exercise and things of that nature. What would your approach be? So, the same as I approach anything. One moment at a time, smile, laugh. Don't recognize them as haters. I love the thought. Only loving thoughts are true. Anything else is an appeal for healing and help. So if someone comes in and it's not a loving thought, it's an appeal for healing and help. What would I do if someone came to me for healing and help? I would do my best to offer healing and help. Only loving thoughts are true. That's okay. You are always right on time. Sina says, man, I saved you a seat, but you're so late, you might get a rap over the knuckles. I would never rap anyone over the knuckles. Amanda says, love you, big munches, Yogi. I love you too, my friend. Miss Ripper says, sure, let's duke it out, kettlebell boy. Hey, you could come up on the live stream on in the afternoon if you want. I would love to duke it out with Miss Flipper. It would be the most, it would be the single most loving slugfest in the history of YouTube slugfest. Dill says, as Vibra we would say, something on the lines of no self, no self, no self, no others to be one with. Tim Kliss would say just this. Healing is as close as we get to thought of God. So if someone offers us a chance, what a great opportunity. Someone offers us a chance to heal, which means someone is offering us a chance to be as close as possible to the thought of God, to the mind of God. Someone is giving us that opportunity. How could you hate a seeming hater? Yes, I just made bunny rabbit ears. Or is that a moose? Which one was it, guys? Amanda says, Yogi, that yeah, that's so sexy. I got to tell you, the hazards of being late, Amanda, is Selena beat you to it. I really only love yellow in nature. I love the first daffodils of nature. I love the first yellow bloom of nature. The brilliance of sunlight and a blue, blue, blue sky. Suave. No one has ever called me suave before. Miss Ripper says, thanks for the invite. What time is that around? 1 p.m. my time, which I believe is 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. your time. Clark says, thanks for answering. I think it takes courage to make videos with the forum Jamie Brown has shown in the videos in the past, because obviously the haters will jump on it. Shows how sad they are. Well, it also gives you a chance to keep working on your form over and over again. I'm still working on my form. If you come watch my kettlebell workout, it's a constant. And I started doing kettlebell sport in 2004. Of course, I had a long absence when I was doing ultra running, but I'm working on getting my form back. And I'll always be working on my form, one rep at a time. Tina says, Miss Flipper, I felt the presence of God around me when I gave birth to my daughter, and we both nearly died. I bet. Rodent moose. There you go. Tina says, you snooze, you lazy, Amanda. The yellow is like the sunflower or daffodil. Very pretty. I love sunflowers. Amanda says, King is also to do with guys like James being on his lives, and he blew me off a lot, so I stopped. He needs a lot of work on himself first. Well, I don't know. As someone who does a lot of live streams, a lot of it could just be we miss people. I've always found myself, Jamie, a very engaging person, very welcoming. Oops, my screen just blanked off. 1 second, guys. We're going to wrap things up in just a minute. Let's see. Dill says, amazing Amanda, Jamie Brown. Miss Flipper says, Selena, the celestial, yep. I too almost died in childbirth. Wow. I definitely had one leg in this world and one in the other. I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Flipper. Amanda says, I don't get any haters on my lives. It's because of me. If they smell and see fear, the haters know will troll. As your channel grows, though, I always tell people, I don't create a peaceful environment. I can't. It's beyond me. However, I try to create a space where we can all choose peace. So through the year or so that I've been live streaming and trying to do this as my professional live streamer, I've gotten haters. I've gotten everything that you can get on YouTube. But you just keep doing your thing. You don't give them a label. Don't give anyone a label of a hater. No one's a hater. No one wakes up in the morning and says, yes, I get to hate today. No one puts on their hater cap and their hater coat and say, I'm off into the world to hate some more. Wish me luck, dear. I'll be home to hate you in the evening. There's no such thing as a hater. So don't give them that reality. Tina says, Amanda, I agree with you about James Brown because I went to his live stream and he wasn't very pleasant to me, or rather to be more specific, he was too nice to me. Wink, wink, wink. I'm with you. So let's return to the reality of Jamie Brown. He is someone who has good days and bad days, good moments and bad moments. He's someone who is sometimes chooses the right teacher, sometimes chooses the wrong teacher. Jamie Brown is exactly the same as I am. Exactly the same as I am. Sometimes I choose the right teachers, sometimes I choose the wrong teacher. Sorry, I didn't mean to say teachers. Exactly the way I am. But Janos says, hello, my friend. I've got an appointment, but if I'm home by 7, I'll sign in. Awesome. So for me, just for me, it's not my job to help anyone. It's my job to love everyone. That's it. So here, Jamie Brown gets love. Let's see. Miss Pippa says, Selena, I feel extremely grateful to have survived, and also because her life has always been improved from day one. I've often wondered that when I hear people talk about um, almost dying through childbirth, and surviving and having their child survive, how, you know, sorry, Miss Flipper's making me laugh. She's purposely she's throwing me off my game, guys. She thinks if she throws me off the game in the morning, that she's going to have the advantage in our slugfest later today. I can't be thrown off that easily, my friend. When you almost die in childbirth and you and your child survive, that bond must be even greater than it, normally. Having not experienced that, I don't know for certain, but I just wonder. Cena says, Rourke, I'm an energy reader, and the energy is off on that one. Just my opinion, and I'm a woman, and I reserve the right to change my mind at any time. Yes. All I can say to that is yes. Because love's not conditional. Love is absolutely not conditional. So remember, God thinks otherwise. God thinks otherwise. To think that someone who doesn't want it means I'm thinking that Jamie isn't love. It means that I'm thinking there's such a thing, such a person as Jamie. There isn't. And there's no Eric. There's just love. So why would I don't want to drag God into that conversation. I want to drag my conversation to God as it dissolves and know that God thinks otherwise. So, there are only thoughts of love. Everything else is an appeal for help or healing. Why would I turn any away from help and healing, including myself? So, if someone seems to be challenging or a challenge, what a great opportunity. What a great opportunity. What am I? It's never, ever, ever about that person. It's always about me. What is blocking my ability to love this person fully? What is blocking my ability to perceive love in this moment? You guys are, I don't want to keep mentioning Jamie because I absolutely love Jamie. But as a aspect of God and as a person too, as a personality too, Jamie's my friend. So, but you're missing the great lesson of Jamie Brown. Jamie says, you have a bigger heart than me. Amanda, you are nothing but heart. You are nothing but love. But don't confuse yourself with Amanda. Don't confuse yourself with the personality of Amanda. Amanda is an aspect, is a just a little thought within the infinite mind of God. Amanda is an appearance of a personality in that great big heart that is the essence of who you truly are. So you just return back. If you're having thoughts that are not of love, only loving thoughts are true. Everything else is an illusion. Do you keep choosing the illusion, or do you want to return to reality? Everything gets infinitely easier when we narrow that focus down. Am I loving or am I not loving? If I'm not loving, then I need to return to the mind of God. Let's see. Miss Pippa says, is love about perception at all? No. Love, I don't think love even recognizes perception, as perception is part of the illusion, and love can't recognize illusion or it wouldn't be illusion, right? Which brings us back to ultimate non-duality. Miss Pippa says, birth can connect us all with everything, not separation, but interdependence. I love the word interdependence. Ever met anyone without a navel? No, but I'm still looking. The search continues. Miss Flipper, you have just entered into this conversation. My mission in life is to find the one person without a navel, and I keep checking one person at a time. Anyone who feels free to come onto my live stream and show me their navel, it'll make my search so much easier, guys. Miss Pippa says, true story, guess what my name was for the first 10 days of my life? Eden. That's just a guess. Dale says, Eric, you're right. Mind you, I don't think anyone hates Jamie in here. Just seems that he's been disrespected to several people in the past. Has he been disrespectful, or have we taken it as disrespect? It exists in our mind. We are perceiving one thing and mistaking it for the whole. Look at the whole. We are perceiving disrespect, but is it? Or is it just our perception? Do we know what was going on? Do we know the whole picture? Have you ever been in a bad mood? Have you ever disrespected someone? Have you ever written someone off or shrugged them off or pushed them aside? Ever? And once in your life? And have you ever examined why? Maybe you're just having a bad day. Maybe you were distracted. Maybe you have a stone in your shoe and it's causing you some issues. Who knows? But it's just one little aspect and you took it to be the whole. Never dismiss the whole. It was a momentary thing. Miss Pippa says, Eric, human existence has navels. True dat. You can meditate on that. I will. But my search continues. Let's see. Amanda says, I know I have 3 different personalities. The one that does the nighttime lives is not who I am during the day. Here's the thing. You are not a personality. How could you have 3 personalities? You are that which allows 3 personalities to appear. The pure awareness of the personalities. Hey, Mary. So don't even concern yourself with personalities. They come and go. Personality I had when I was drinking was not the personality that I have now. The personality that I have now is not even who I am right now. My name was no name for 10 days. I'm going to remember that in our discussion. I'm going to remember that in our slugfest later today. Cena says, you're an incredible friend, Eric, for sure. Everyone's saying hi to Mary. Hey, Rosie. Personalities are like allergies. Seasonal. Dale says, it seems you have Course in Miracles down good. As it seems as if you live life. It's good, completely different. How most of us do. It's a practice. I love practicing A Course in Miracles. It lets me off the hook. I don't have to be good at it. I just have to practice it. I don't have to be great at forgiveness. I just have to forgive. I don't have to act loving. I just have to love, which means it gives me room for everything. How many years have you disliked peas? My very first words were nah. And I put my hands up, refusing a mouthful of peas. Before they even entered my system, I was like, nope, not going to happen. Since the beginning of the beginning. The 11th commandment, thou shalt not like peas. When it says, Yogi, if I change who I am for others on here, I know I will lose people a lot. Why would you change who you are? But you're not who you think you are. In the absence of all those thoughts of who you are, Amanda, who are you? In the absence of the thought of Amanda, who would you be? In the absence of the thought that I am this, I am that, who would you be? You're none of those things. How could you ever lose people? It's an impossibility to lose anyone. I didn't lose Mocha in my divorce. I didn't lose my dog when my dog died. You've never lost anything, ever. How could you lose people? People are peopling. All the time. Rosie says, or Miss Whipper says, I have a theory that you dislike them because you couldn't keep them on your fork. I don't know. It's all about texture and appearance and essence. Mirror's Gigs throwing peas at me on my own live stream first thing in the morning. However, because I know Mary, and I know her heart. She's offering me peas. Peas. She's saying, give peas a chance. Rosie says, it's okay. Me and MK here chatting up your live. How are you, Rosie? Yeah, never confuse who you think you are with who you are. Never confuse your thoughts for the actuality of the thing. I love how neuro-linguistic programming loves to point out the map is not the territory. The menu is not the meal. The thoughts are not the thing. The thoughts of who you are is not who you are. There is no false you. There's no true you. There's just thoughts of who you think you are. In the absence, keep going back to that awesome self-inquiry. In the absence of who I thought I am, who would I be? If you didn't have that thought, who would you be? Rosie says, so be who you are in real life on YouTube. Don't be someone you don't want to be for others. Miss Pippa says, give peace a chance, the Lennon song. It's all we are saying, give peace a chance. My answer remains no. I will not give peace a chance. Mary's laughing. Amanda says, I fear nobody would like who I really am. But who you really are is love. In the absence of who you think you are is only love. And only love returns to love. I don't love Amanda the personality. I don't love Amanda the personalities. I love Amanda. And all the different personalities that show up are simply appearances in the thing that I actually love. Aspects. So I love the aspects too. And it says they just love what I give them. So here's the thing, Amanda. Examine everything you perceive and keep reminding yourself that the perception is just a fraction of the whole and not the actuality. Tina says, okay, Yogi, you convinced me to give Jamie another chance. I would like to think that you guys convinced me to give Peas another chance, but I'm not going to. But I'm happy that the thing is, just so you know, again, I dislike using anyone as an example, but since Jamie came in the conversation or came up in the conversation, it's not even about giving Jamie a chance. Give ourselves a chance. Give ourselves a chance to choose love instead of this. Jamie's just Jamie doing Jamie stuff. I absolutely love that. Who doesn't want to do Jamie stuff? I love Jamie. I love Jamie doing Jamie stuff. It has nothing to do with how I think. It has nothing to do with the rest of my life. But I love clicking on the link and seeing my friend Jamie doing Jamie stuff. How awesome is that? I love seeing Mary's gig stuff. I love seeing Amanda's stuff. I love Selena's stuff and Squirrel Sniper stuff and Miss Flipper's stuff. Even if she thinks she can beat me in a debate later today, I still love all Miss Flipper stuff. I love Rosie's stuff. However, what's that have to do with me? My job is to love. That's it. My job is to love. My job is to forgive. And remember, the forgiveness that I'm talking about isn't the forgiveness you're thinking of. Forgiveness is saying, and God thinks otherwise. So I have all these thoughts. No one would love me if I did this. No one would love me if I thought this way. No one would love me if they knew who I truly am. God thinks otherwise. God thinks with a smile and says, of course I love you. Of course I love you. God doesn't even recognize who you think you are because it's an illusion. God doesn't recognize illusions because that would make it real. God recognizes reality, and reality is only and always love. Only love is real. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. Clark says, Dale says, it's good you're reading a book by Kenneth Wapnick. I've also heard there's a blood book similar to A Course in Miracles called The Law of One. I think he mentioned that, but it likely isn't necessary to buy it, just creating more longing. Amanda says, okay, now you're making me cry. Again, Yogi, we cry together. You know, the tears that we cry, are simply a return to home, a return to who we are. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap things up. Amanda says, I don't really hear someone say they love me. Not what I give them, but me, so yeah. That made me cry, damn it. You are absolutely loved. Tuesday with Joy, says Eric. Hello, Tuesday with Joy, my friend. Celia says, well, I love you, Eric. So you love Jamie. I will give it a shot. Mary says, Amanda gives laughter and joy and smiles. Absolutely. Rosie says, I don't tell anyone I love them unless I actually love them. Amanda, I truly love you. God thinks or God wills? I think it's a distinction we don't need to make. Tuesday says, thanks for joining in with our wonderful host, Eric. Just a yogi doing burpees in his basement. How are you, Jenny? Hey, Big Al, how are you? So I might have missed some comments. I apologize, guys. Hey, our friend Big Al is still at 92. Is anyone here not subscribed to Big Al? Let's get him to 100 today. Today's the day. Brenda says, thank you all for your kind words and beautiful soul. I guess I needed that kick in the ass. Y'all are beautiful, and I do love you. Tuesday's Joy said, there are no others. Absolutely. Absolutely. Miss Ripper says, Tuesday with Joy, we are one. We are. You guys are my favorite people. In the appearance of others, in the ultimate non-duality of no others, if I had to have the appearance of others appear to the perception of me being other, I am certainly glad that you are the others. Have I confused you enough? I hope so. I hope so. So, guys, I came on the live stream and said we're going to talk for 15 minutes, maybe 20. And we are now an hour into the conversation, or just about an hour. I appreciate it so much. And it says, see, Rosie, I come to Yogi when I break down. Here's the key when you break down. Don't allow yourself to be put back together again the way you were before, because that was an illusion. Who you truly are cannot be broken down. It's already broken. It's wide open. It's the spaciousness of love itself, and love always says yes, yes, yes. Love is the ultimate yes. It's the spaciousness, the all-allowingness of all things. So why put that small fragileness back together again? Allow yourself that wide openness of who you are. Miss Pippa says, amazing Amanda is amazing. Yes, she is. Tina says, Yogi, you rock. We all rock together, my friend. Rosie says, you broke me through with your words. Why we change who you are for others. Always refer back to there are no others. Who we are can't change. That's only the shifting waves on the ocean of who we are. Always remind yourself that you're the ocean. Because when you remind yourself that you're the ocean, you can have fun with the waves. Some waves are going to be swift and violent. Some waves are going to be devastating. Some waves are going to be going to wipe out entire castles made in sand. Other waves are going to be gentle. Other waves are going to be a sweet caress along the surface. But they're all just waves. They're all just perceptions. Always remind yourself, God thinks otherwise. All the little things that we get caught up in, all the resentments, all the guilt, all the judgments, all the grievances, all the things that we think we hate, all the things that seem to be appearances, God thinks otherwise. God thinks with a smile. Alien Frog King is here. What's up, Frog King, my friend? Let's see, man, it's thank Eric. Love you always. I love you too, my friend. All right, I have to go. Make sure, guys, you subscribe to our friend Big Al's Kingdom. Cena says, I'm a puddle until I'm the tsunami. Remember, the puddle and the tsunami all appear within the ocean. Hey, Foxy. Man, all my favorite people are showing up in the morning. Beard looking warm and protecting of chin. Nice for cold weather. It is. It's going to warm up next week, so let's see what happens with the beard. It's always in different states, you know what I mean? I'm always either fluffing it out or unfluffing it. I'm always in a state of semi or full fluffiness. Janae says, Alien Frog King with some love. Finally got warm for Frog King. I know you're loving that. Frog King is someone who loves to work out outside. All right, hey, we can pick up this conversation right where we left off this afternoon. Frog King said, suits you? Thanks, Frog King. Amanda says, go eat, Yogi. Thank you, hun. You're welcome, my friend. All right, guys. With that, I am going to go eat. I'll see everyone if you're around, 1 o'clock. Thanks for coming in. See you guys later.